really, really nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice the Halloween decorations.
Oh yeah, we did that. I did that today. You ready?
Yep. Yeah, let's do it.
Ooh.
Yo, welcome back to another episode. It's your boy, every motherfucking Cuban.
And it's your boy, I Am Good, and we back at it again with a new EP, man.
Man, I got a special guest in the house that it was like a bucket list, you know, on my guest. He was like a mentor to me back when we were working together. We got Q in the motherfucking house.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes, sir, man.
Out here in the IE. Let's go.
Yeah, man. So I don't have no ice, bro.
Oh, damn.
I got beer.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know if you want a beer.
I
got
you
water.
know what? I will partake in whatever is in front of me. And
I'm about to say I passed by the 99-cent store and thought about it.
I thought I had ice, but I don't.
it's 96 degrees out here,
It
man.
is,
I don't know why, but you know, if you want beer, water, carbonated water, there's there. If you want, we could take shots at the end.
Oh, I'm definitely
if, you know,
shots.
but I'm gonna go with the.
It's that show.
I'm gonna just go with the carbonated water because
Okay.
You know,
That's on the bougie side of the game, but
you know, a little bit, just a little bit, you know. But
I'll take a beer, brother.
I will take one of these.
all right, you
Man.
want water, beer, shot, and
Right.
but let's crack it. I'm gonna crack it open.
Yes.
Ooh.
There we go.
Cheers, but
There
I know
we
it's
go.
bad cheers with water, but
Hey, man, there we
cheers to
go.
the greatest episode,
Fellas, let's go. Hold on.
A little parched.
man. Q, I'm gonna explain to you what the woods is. Let me just turn this on.
Yeah.
So the woods is where you at. I've been in this apartment for 20-some years. You could say this is my hood. This is where I made me. Mark lived down the street, so he was always here.
Home turf.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you would text me, it's like, hey, AB, where you at? I was, I'm in the woods or the packs, but you know. And then when we came up with the name, we were calling it the packs, but the game bangers out here used to call these the packs. So we just like, no, we don't want to. We don't want to socialize with the game bangers right now. So we just call it the
We
woods.
ain't trying to play no reindeer games up in here. Right. I got it.
Yeah, so this is where you at, man. Now you part of the family, you know. Like you welcome me and your family. I want to welcome you to my family in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it was you know, I told Mark, man, I was like, we were talking about it, and then I said, I got a couple people that I really want in here. That's you, Joe, and Sammy J. Because if it wasn't for Sammy J, I wouldn't got to meet you. Because I don't know if you remember, I did like a reaction video to his EP.
I do remember.
And he like posted everywhere, and that's when I was like, I hit you up. But how I met him, how I met Q, was going to a Sammy J concert actually, and he was walking by, and I said, hey, let me get a shirt, and he said, oh, give me after the show. I don't know if you remember that. So I'm like, I'm in my head, I was like, is he serious? I was like, all right, whatever, like, you know. I was like, well, after the show, I'm trying to get to the front, like I'm trying to go over there, but I was like,
Right.
And then like my Samoan friend was like, nah, Uzo, let's go, and I'm like, bro, let me get a shirt first. And he's like, nah, let's go, bro. Like I'm tired. I'm like, damn. So we just take off, and then I don't know. I seen you again. I think it was another Sammy J concert or a J Bug concert. And I was like, hey, bro, you never gave me my shirt.
Oh.
And then you looked at me and said, give me your address. And I was like, man, nah, never mind. Like I was like, but I was just joking, right?
Right.
So then like when the Sammy J thing happened, I hit you up. Oh no, I think you hit me up, or I don't know how it happened, but I hit you up. I was like, hey man, let me work with you, and so I could get my shirt with. And then you're like, oh yeah, come by on Thursday. And I'm like, oh shit, this is really happening.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I said, oh shit, this is happening. But before we get everything like going on, we like to, so people like our viewers don't know who you are,
Right.
And if you do know who he is, you're still gonna get to know him. We just ask a couple questions, and then we get to the nitty gritty.
Oh
stuff.
man, like first of all, fellas, I'm excited to be here. You know, I'm excited to be in the woods with y'all.
That's right.
And man, let's go. This is fun.
But
the interviewer becomes the interviewee. It's a
I was
little
about to
bit
say,
weird, right?
Your voice sounds
Bro.
absolutely perfect for a podcast.
Oh,
or
man.
you know,
Thanks.
of course, of what you do, you're you're a professional is what this is. So it's like your voice is perfect around this mic, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I like to say I got a face for radio. Yeah, you know what I mean. I like to say that.
Yeah.
So apropos.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, kid, where did you grow up?
I grew up in the city, in the beautiful city of Long Beach, California. Hello.
Long Beach in the house,
Come on.
LBC.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right. What school did you go out there?
So I went to went to Hughes. Went to Bernie Elementary. I don't know how far back you want to go, but I gotta say I was the president of Bernie Elementary. Went to Hughes. I was a Hooter, and then went to Long Beach Milliken.
Okay.
Played a little JUCO ball, and then I went up to San Francisco State. So I mean, I did the whole thing. Went up to the Bay, came back down to LA because I love the Bay, but LA, Southern California is this is home. This is like home turf, like we said.
Yeah, I say, what's that transition like moving from there to the Bay, from Long Beach to the Bay?
Man, I went up there to play ball,
Right.
And so a little D2 school, state, when they had a program way back in the day. And one thing that I recognized early on is that when we're from Southern California, and it was an active time back in the day, right?
Yeah,
so we're always like looking behind us, we're looking to the left and right to make sure we're not like, marks, right? And then, but one thing that I realized is like, man, outside of Southern California, LA, Long Beach at the time, they weren't living like that.
Really?
I'm not to say they didn't have like real street guys, right? But it was like, man, it was normal for us. And you guys are a little bit younger than myself. I'm an old guy, but
Not that old.
We're catching up.
God bless you guys. God bless. Hey, you guys, make sure you subscribe. But yeah, man, you realize that living in Long Beach, you are brought up in a certain way, and then when you go outside of Long Beach, you're like, oh man, no, not everyone is as anxious and on high alert like this. So, how was the transition? That was a question. It was great because once I realized that wow, I can kind of relax a little bit and enjoy. This is a beautiful city.
Beautiful.
San Francisco is beautiful. The Bay is beautiful. Then man, I got a chance to enjoy myself a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, see, I even out here, bro. Like when I met my wife, like my wife's like, "Why are you always looking around?"
Right.
I said, "Man, because motherfucker trying to get me."
Hey, you are Papa Bear.
Yes.
With your beautiful family, and you got to make sure that you.
Yeah. And I was like, because she grew up down the street, where his neighborhood too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we were like his brother was the same neighborhood that all my cousins were from, and then I would always walk around looking around like because by association people already they want to get you too.
Yeah.
So I'm like I have to look always all the time. But what's something that you love about Long Beach?
You know what, man? I was having this conversation the other day. The advantage of growing up in Long Beach is that it's such a diverse city. Yeah. You have the marginalized communities and you have very affluent communities. And so as an adult, as a young man growing up in there, and those are my formidable years, is I now have the ability to walk and talk with just about anybody.
Right. Yeah.
We could talk about anything. And being an athlete in Long Beach, you go to house parties. I remember going to house parties and Willie McGinnis is there, and over here Nate and Snoop Dogg are over here, and they're doing house parties. But we would go to these parties, man, and it was cracking. Like it was legit, right? That's an old term.
No,
that's what the old heads say. It was cracking. It was off the chain, like all these old terms. But then they would be like, "Yo, Q, it's time to go." And I'm like, oh, yep, let's go. I'm out of here. Because I was never about the life. Like obviously we all have family and friends who live that life. I was just an L7, man. I was a square, just a nerd who just happened to be able to play ball, right?
Yeah.
But so whenever there was something that was gonna go down, I was blessed because like all the OGs are like, oh no, it's time to go. You got to go. I'm like, I didn't ask no questions. I was out.
I think we all have that sense of where like we know the people around us, our surroundings, and we kind of venture off. AB being a creator that he is, he kind of ventured off from that lifestyle, and he met his wife, of course.
She saved your life, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what she did. Yeah.
Yeah, boxing in her.
Huh.
Yeah.
See, I knew I never wanted to throw hands with you. I knew there was something about you. I was like, this dude got hands.
Yeah, boxing.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
You can say boxing was my first love, and that's where they got me out the streets. And then I met my wife, and then I was like, oh, okay, well. And then the big homie's like, oh, you're not in the streets anymore. I was like, oh, I got a fight coming up. And he was like, so I had to be in the gym. And then it's like, yeah, but we see you in the corner with your girlfriend. Yeah. I was like, oh, well, that's Mando too, bro.
Cupcaking.
Yeah.
Cupcaking, right.
Yeah, that part. That part. And so yeah, boxing was like my first love. So like, and she hates that I say that, but I was like, no, that's my first love. Like for real, it was like like I was in the gym 24/7. And at the same time I was playing football.
See, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And you know what? I mean, that's a beautiful thing about sports.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it teaches you so much. You know, you get to connect and network with a whole bunch of folks.
Yeah.
You know, and then like, you know, for people of color, black and brown guys, it's like, man, it sometimes it shows us parts of the world that we never thought that we would see.
Oh yeah.
True that.
You know?
Yeah.
So no, that's dope, man.
We're just gonna get to the nitty gritty now, man.
Oh yeah, we're gonna dive right into it.
So when you decided, playing ball to be like, you know what, I want to go to be a radio host or go in the industry?
Man, that is a long. That's a long point from point A to point B. You know, I knew, fellas, that I was never gonna play in the NFL. I knew it. Like I played ball in Long Beach, and it's a very competitive city in terms of football. Long Beach Poly has last I remember, they got the most NFL players in the NFL, and so what I did recognize was I was like kind of in the middle, very, maybe below medium in Long Beach. But then when I went outside of Long Beach, I was like, oh my gosh, the game slowed down. The competition was so high in Long Beach that I was like, oh, I'm halfway decent. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, average six yards a carry. Like, I didn't do that when I was in Long Beach. Like, but so I say all that to say that I use sports and I encourage you guys out there, or you ladies out there, to so many schools use the athletes for the school. It's time to flip that. And so I use sports to get my classes, because I knew if you play football, you are priority registration. You get all the classes, all the counseling. So you use a sport to get what you want to get, which is a degree, hopefully. And so went through school, had a job in corporate and in sales and things of that nature. And, I was having the conversation actually on the way out here. And then, I picked up a lot of skills, worked from everywhere from, for-profit to nonprofit. I was an executive director for community-based organizations, worked at the city of Long Beach in the communications department, and, wrote the mayor's speeches, did media inquiries, things of that nature. But one thing that I realized is like I was unhappy doing that. And then so at one point, that job at the city actually dissolved because it was like a grant funded position, whatever. And then I had to make a decision. They said, well, Joey, they said, Joey, do you want to continue with the city at a different position, or are you going to go find your whatever, or not, or not work? And then at that point I was like, yo, I'm going to take a chance on myself. And then so I took a chance on myself, and that was, back when Sammy J first came out here, the first time he came, it was like, 2012, something like that. And so, shout out to the Joe Saff. Yeah. Him and I, we kind of looked at each other and was like, yo, let's do this. And then just to recap real quick, we started a radio show that got syndicated to 3 cities, Arizona, Vegas, and LA. And then somebody over at Dash, shout out to DJ Ski, invited us to come out, and the show did really well. And the show eventually turned into a radio station.
Nice.
Yeah.
And because the barbecue show, was that before?
That's right. Yeah.
Was that before that? I mean, Island Block Radio.
Yeah. So the barbecue show was the first show. And so stupidest. That's just the most stupid name ever for a radio show. They caught me. They caught me. They said, "Yo, we need a title for the name of the show," and I just happened to have barbecue at City Hall, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, the barbecue show." I was like, "What?" Joe looked at me like, "Man, what the hell is wrong? What's wrong with you, hungry ass?"
I was about to say, like, in the midst of all that, did you ever think about going to sports, sports casting?
Man, I'll say this, bro. Like this radio stuff has really allotted me some opportunities that I never thought I would be able to do. I mean, I'm talking about travel the world, go to Samoa, New Zealand. And so when you bring that up, one of my bucket lists was to call a football game. So shout out to the Ienga Foundation, the Big Uso George. He, because of all of this stuff, he's like, I want you to come in. I want you to call the games with Ida MC, who is like a extremely talented, broadcaster. So so I got a chance to do it, man. It's fun, bro.
I'm about to say, going play by play, the game.
Listen, listen. You know the game, but the funny part is we would do the Polynesian All-American games, and you know how long Polynesian names are.
Yeah,
Bruh. I was like, hold on, let me. I was like, oh my God, let me sound it out. This is crazy.
Really, you was gonna mess up
before somebody mama smacks the heck out of me. But yeah, I had a great time. Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it's fun.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. I love
And
that.
the barbecue show.
Yeah,
That started with you and Joe, right?
That's right.
Because I remember when I first went, when that Thursday that I went, I remember I was talking to Joe and he said, "Oh, so how did you guys start doing this?" He's like, "Oh, I used to do it in the backyard. I mean, in the garage."
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, and then it was just me and Q just messing around, and then I just what you said, like somebody just heard you and picked it up.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn. So I was going back to your channel and looking at them. And I was like, man, you guys sound like you guys are professional, like off the back. Like it was like boom. And I was like, damn, I was like, dude, I need to get to this level.
Bro, let me tell you, we fooled a lot of people. We fooled a whole bunch of people. But it's kind of like you fellas, man.
Yeah.
You guys got a great chemistry. And what is it saying? I'm gonna mess this saying up, but it is the sum is greater than its parts. Ooh. And so when Joe is doing it, Joe is alone, he's this much. When I'm alone, I'm this much. But together, man, like it just the chemistry was undeniable.
Yeah.
And I look back and man, that's the fun part.
So and then I always tell my friends, like I was like, I feel like because I see you guys like mentors, because I would text Joe too, and he would I'm like, and he would tell me stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I'll tell my friends like, man, I see myself like in the next 20 years doing something like Joe and Q did. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys, I feel like you're the serious guy, like you're like or the funny guy, and then Joe is like, oh yeah, boom, like when I used to sit in the radio and you watch you guys. Like Joe would be like, oh yeah, just this, and then really quiet. And I was like, man, that's us. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's us. Cause like,
he's a Sav for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a Sav for real.
Yeah. So I was like, man, that's us. And I tell my boys, like, man, like, I feel like I'm copying. Cause I remember, I don't know if you remember, but you asked me, he's like, what do you want to get out of this? Mm-hmm. And I said, I want to have a show like you guys. Ooh. I don't know if you remember, we're sitting upstairs at the old Dash Radio.
Old Dash, yeah.
So, and then you were like, you looked at me and was like, all right, for sure. Then that's when you were like, all right, I'm going to give you a chance. It was me and my boy. My boy, damn, I forgot his name already. Jesus.
Damn, if you forgot, how am I supposed to remember?
My boy, Juan.
Oh, what's up, Juan? Shout out to Juan.
That his girl, nah, we don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's a little too personal.
Let's Control, Alt, delete that part. Yeah.
So, he did the first video. I remember it was the Ali Mac show.
Yeah.
He did the first video with me. And then after that that when we were sitting down and you was like, when this is gonna be like an internship right now, when we start getting money, we start blessing you. I was like, I'm here to learn. Because I want to have, when I said, I don't know if you remember this, but when the first time when we went that Thursday, it was me, my boy Juan, and then I brought my homegirl Roxy with me because she wanted to be a radio host at the time.
Okay, yeah.
She was already working with like a Spanish radio. I don't know, with 90 something. So she was already working with them, and she was like, "Oh, let me go with you," like, you know, like, cause we were just talking, and she was like, "Oh, like, what are you working on?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm trying to, you know, do these things." I was like, "But I just hit up this radio station called Island Block Radio, and they told me I could come by and see, you know."
Yeah.
So I put up, and then you put me on the radio, you put me on air, and he was like, "Oh,"
I do remember that.
and I froze. I
See,
said,
that's one thing.
You know what? I'll say this. I don't remember you freezing. You know, I don't. In my, I don't think you.
I froze. You said, "Oh, say something." I said,
First thing came to his mind.
"Shout out to Mobile and my wife." And I was like, "What?" And then I got in the car and I said, "What?" And I looked at my boy. I said, "What did I say?" Like, bro, like, why you made me? He's like, "Well, I don't know what to say." And he said it too. It's like, shout out to Mobile and my girlfriend. And then my homegirl Rosti was just like, "Yeah, woo." And I'm like, damn. I was like, I'm not meant to do this shit.
Hey, listen. Pause. Look how you turned out, man.
Oh yeah, and then that's what.
I mean, this is a natural thing. Like I can tell you're not thinking. It's just you're letting it come off the cuff. So I don't remember you freezing. I thought you did fine, and so I'm sorry that you lived with that for so many years.
When we have guests in here, I'm like, man, like it's like, man, just let me do the talking. You know, you'll feel comfortable after maybe one shot or two shots, or you just feel comfortable, just period. But just let me do the talking. I was like, I done that.
Yep.
Like I had a girl in here, I'm telling you, shaking.
Oh man!
And this is that we're not even live.
Right.
This girl was shaking. I was like,
Yeah.
why are you shaking? And she's like,
man.
I'm so nervous. I was like, okay, so why did you want to do this for?
Yeah.
And then she was just like, I don't know. Like, and I was like, all right, you want to step out real fast? And, you know, and then I was like, in my head, I was like, maybe I was just like that when I put out to Island Block Radio. I was like,
but see, that's your job, right? It's like to make sure that the guests feel comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be an asshole. Like there are shows out there where hosts are assholes and they're like, you know, try to get a sound bite or whatever. But man, if you're a real true professional, that your job is to highlight whoever, make them look the best they can and whatever that is. And I'll tell you guys this, man, it's that person, whoever that is young lady, whoever that young lady is, man, like, you know, you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Like, because there are artists out there, celebrities, international artists, I'm talking, who have rocked arenas and sung in front of thousands and thousands of people, who when they get on the mic and they got to talk about themselves, it's like, oh man, they just clamped up. But their way of expressing themselves is through their music. It's not really through this stuff. But yeah.
I think one thing that came full circle, now that I got the background story of y'all relationship, one thing AB came to me and told me about this podcast, and he was like, bro, I need you to join. I'm by myself. I know you in the midst of getting married and things like that of that nature. And I was like, bro, I don't know nothing about being on the podcast. You made me feel comfortable my first couple times.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what my position was when I came on this podcast. But he was like, bounce off my ideas, and then once we have a guest, you just feed off of that. And I think, you know, him getting that mentorship from you and whatnot, he developed a trait where he makes all of our guests feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So it makes my job a lot easier.
I'll tell you, man, that means more to me than you would imagine. I'll tell you this, like, you know, this game is not for the you know, we faint of heart, right? You're not gonna break the bank. Well, some people can. You can, right? But compensation comes in many different forms. And man, like, you know, you just paying into your good karma account. You know what I'm saying?
And like I was like, when I was sitting there looking at, like, when I used to go over there on Thursdays, I would just sit there, you know, and sorry, Amazon's coming.
Nah, that's that package.
Coming, you know.
I think it's the ice.
I would sit there and then write stuff, like, you know, like the things that you guys would do, like feedback, and then like I still have that notebook right there, and then I'm like, and I would like when I will with my old host, I would tell him, we have to do this, we have to do like this, like, you know. And I'm like the type of guy that when I'm like, okay, you give me an idea, I'm running it with it. Like I say, like the first episode, if you go back to the first episode, we're sitting on a little chairs, no mics, nothing. And I'm like, nah, I don't like this. Like, we had to look professional, bro. Because one thing that I remember you saying is like, you have to look professional, you be professional.
Man,
right?
I said all that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny how it stick with you the whole time.
So
man.
I was like, all
Golly.
right, cool. I was like, for sure. And then I told him, I was like, all right, next week we get the mics. He's like, all right.
Yeah.
I said, next week I'm building a table. Next week I'm doing this. Next week we need another camera. And he was like, he's looking at me. He's like, bro, I don't have money for that. I said, I'm not asking you for that. I'm just asking you to show up on time and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, for sure. So when I got Mark was like, oh, I got a camera. I said, perfect. Bring it in. He's like, I got this. Okay, cool. And you know, little by little, we're just building the podcast a little bit up and up. And then I'm just have to give you your flowers for that. You know what I'm saying?
my gosh, man.
Like, you know, just looking at the end of the day, I want a studio. How I walked into Island Block Radio, and I said, "Damn, like this is the shit right here."
Yeah.
This is just.
I'm telling you, fellas, man, I'm smiling, and for those folks who are tuning in, y'all can see it on my face.
Yes.
I am literally smiling ear to ear because, man, you know, you don't really think about it like that.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know what sort of impact, and again, man, you are having an impact on so many people just by your get down and your experiences. And you know, when people say that, you know, is it a little awkward? It feels a little funny, but man, I'm receiving it in the spirit that it's given, man. I appreciate you, fellas.
Yeah, yeah.
We appreciate you having you,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, man. I was like, and then I told him, I was like, bro, we need to have Q in there because, like, man, you're gonna see that he's gonna give you like knowledge that you be like, what the fuck? Like, you know, I didn't know about
No pressure.
this. You
No
know
pressure.
what I'm saying? No, explain.
Yeah.
But no, so go back to Island Block. Now it was how long was it the barbecue show?
I think it was a barbecue show for, I would say maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were the barbecue show on Dash, and we weren't even, it wasn't like an island station. We were on like they didn't know where to put us. They had us on a station called Kingston, like a reggae station, just because we played reggae music. But yeah, so it was maybe a couple years before they.
Barbie show was already on Dash. Sorry about the seats, bro. We're
Yeah.
still getting some cushions.
No, it's all good. I got cake. It's all good.
We sit here for hours on end, man, talking.
Oh damn, I can't feel my feet.
Yeah, we still need to buy some cushions in this.
No, yeah. So barbecue show was on Dash, and then they started doing its thing, and it evolved and became blessed us with the station, and you know, from the onset, that was always the plan. At least, and I got to give it up for Joe. Joe's a visionary, right?
Yeah.
So it was always the plan to just create a platform for our Pacifica people, and you know, they blessed us with it.
Yeah, because everybody, like when I was working with you guys, I would tell my I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go Thursdays. I go to Hollywood, and he's like, for what? I was like, oh, I go and just sit there and watch, just learn. And he's like, what is it? I was like, Island Block Radio. He's like, what is that? And I was like, it's a Polynesian reggae station. What is Polynesian reggae? And I was like, what? And I was playing, and I'm like, oh, I was like, because you know, a lot of people, like, I had to show him. Yeah, a lot of people don't know like what the Polynesian reggae is and like the music, right? And I was like, it's just reggae with Samoan artists that put a little with a little island flavor to it. Yeah. And then I'm like, everybody was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, yeah. And it was like, yeah, it's like, oh. And I was like, I think it was the first Sammy J concert I did with you guys. They were like, oh, can you get tickets? I was like, oh, bro, I was like, I can't do that. And then Joe was like, no, we can do that. I was like, yeah, come on. I was like, no, I was like, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
That's Amazon. That's Amazon right there.
But then I was like, yeah, he's like, just, you know, tell him to send the money. And I was like, all right. So I told everybody, oh yeah, I got tickets. And I'm like, people that didn't know what Polynesian reggae was like, dude, like you put me on some shit that, like, that shit is crazy. Like, you know, like I love this music now. Like, I'm barbecuing,
right?
Reggae on. I was like, oh yeah, man. Me just growing up with Samoans, just like, I was like, man, I looked at my mom because my mom's a big Bob Marley fan. Yeah. I said, Mom, you used to listen to this? She's like, oh, I don't know what this is. Right. I said, what do you mean? He's like, I listen to reggae, but this is different reggae. I was like, oh, and I was like, and then shout out to my boy Mila. He was the one that put me on stuff. And then and my boy Monster. He was the one that put me on, and he was like, yeah, he's like, you like this guy? I was like, I don't know who this is. He's like, oh, this is J Bug.
Oh, J Bug, man.
Next thing you know, I know all J Bug's family. Yeah. They all live out here. Yeah. I was like, my boy shout
out to the Alpha Matas.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, my boy King was like, oh, I put up to go drink some kava, and he was right there, and he was like, oh, that's my uncle. I was like, man, shut up, bro. I was like, all Samoans are related some type of way, right? And then everybody's, no, that was really his uncle. And I was like, okay. And then out of nowhere, J-Bug pulls up. And I was like, oh, shit, that's really your uncle.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, so shout out to J-Bug, man.
He'll be the one to go to the family function and they'll make him do the chores. Like, oh, international singer. Go barbecue.
Yeah.
And I know this is kind of like a side note, but what does kava taste like?
Like dirt water.
I know. I was about to say it looks like it, but I'm not gonna.
Tastes like
No, it
dirt
is.
water.
It
It
is.
is?
It's dirt water.
Yeah, literally.
But
Like
it's,
if I get that right there and mix it with water, that's gonna taste just like that.
he pointed at the aquarium like,
But what's the ingredients? What actually goes in it?
It's a kava root.
yeah, it's a root.
Oh, it's a root. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I
Hey,
seen,
you know what? I
like,
think they're
them
mixing
stirring it.
tonight. Oh, damn. All right, hold on. We're gonna stop right there. My camera's only record for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
it's that
course.
30-minute mark.
Just kidding.
All right, so we're back. But I was saying they're mixing tonight. If you want to go get some kava.
Yeah, we got to see how late that is. You know, I got a wife and I got to be back home, so you know, babe, I'll be home
smart
soon.
man.
Pretty
It's,
smart.
by, it's literally by no, it's not by your house actually. It's down the street from not really down the street in the same street.
Oh yeah, it's across town. Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
it's like down like more. But yeah, if you want to go mix, they actually hit me up today.
Oh, okay.
He's like, damn, Uso, you haven't been mixing in a while. I said, well, I got a daughter now.
Yeah.
I can't be outside until 3 o'clock in the morning.
I know it's a different it's a different scene now.
They
Man.
wifey gonna change the locks.
Yeah.
He gonna change the locks on you.
I remember the first time I tried it, bro. I thought they would put cocaine in it. Because it numbs your mouth.
Oh, does it?
I looked at them and I was like, what the hell is this? And then I was like,
So you know how coffee has caffeine and it kind of gives you like a rush, right? Kava's got the exact opposite feeling. So it'll numb your mouth and then it'll kind of calm you down.
so a lot of people, when I went and I first tried it, they were like, well, you know who I tried it with? It was Monster and Lorenzo.
Oh, yeah, that's where I seen you mixing it from.
Yeah, no, we're at school doing it.
Oh, y'all was at school. How the
Yeah,
hell, like, it takes a minute though. It takes like
Nah, man, they just went and got water from the bathroom. They got that
Squeeze in
little
the
bag,
bucket.
and then we were just sitting there in the locker room just mixing.
What
And I was like,
heck?
bro, and then they were like, shout out to my boy Lorenzo, man. He was like, he said, man, this is, he said, it might hit you like you're high or you're drunk. And I was like, oh shit, hopefully it doesn't hit me like I'm drunk because I act the fool when I'm drunk.
y'all put like some molasses in it or what? Like, y'all throw like
Nah, and then like when I actually started going to like the club that we have out here, they started explaining it to me. He's like, yeah, and then a lot of people, he said mostly white people, it hits them like they're drunk, and I was like, why? And he's like, we don't know. And then next you know, the one of the homie, EJ brought a friend. EJ used to mix with us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
EJ, and then
I
he brought a
remember him
white
saying
friend,
that.
and he was drinking, and he just started acting all weird. We all over there I'm over there like just out, and then he was just jumping off the walls. So I'm like, man, I don't even know how it gets to you like that.
Hey, rule number 4 in the podcast rules says let's drink.
Yeah, definitely.
So you was just rule number 4. That's all you was doing.
Yeah, just drink.
Yeah, let's drink.
Let's drink.
Usually, if we had ice, I would have been drinking. But we probably get ice after. But all right, so then you got Island Block Radio.
Yeah.
How did you when did you guys know we got a thing going right here? Like this people are like tuning in. People,
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So there's this one time I was at Knott's Berry Farm, right? And so I was at Knott's Berry Farm. I was at the I don't know, some little store or whatever, like little merch, where they sell like the shirts and things like that. Then all of a sudden I look across and I could see there was like a group of maybe 3 or 4 Polynesian teenagers, and they're like pointing at me and they're like whispering. They're like, and then you could tell that one of them mustered up the courage to come up to me, and she goes, "Hey, would you mind if we took you're on the barbecue show, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Would you mind if me and my cousins take a picture?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." She turns around to her cousin. She goes, "Hey guys, Joe Sav said it's okay to take a picture." I said, "Man," I was like, I was so embarrassed. I did not have the nerve to correct her, and I started saying all the Joe Sav isms. I was like, "Oh yeah, stop playing." So I mean, at that, now that's a true story.
Yeah.
But it did tell me. I was like, "Oh man, I guess people are listening."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
that's cool.
That's funny.
And it's funny to bring that story up because shout out to CRSB. When you sent me up to Berkeley because they're releasing their album.
Yep.
I fucked up the whole. I fucked up the whole album name and didn't say a damn word. And I'm like, so when I was editing, and I don't know if I told you, I don't think I told you, but I was like, damn, like I think that the album was called We Are CRSB, and I was saying, oh yeah, the album was called Active or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they kept looking. If you look back at the interview, they kept looking at each other like
what is
and I was
that?
like,
What is he
and
talking
I'm
about?
like, hey, shout out to them because they didn't like they could have just been like, hey, bro, that's not an album.
Yeah.
But they just kept going with it. You know
That's
what I'm
a little
saying?
awkward, yeah.
So yeah, and I'm like, damn. And I was like, God. I was like, but that was my first interview, and it was like, it was bad. It was bad.
But you know what? I mean, it's those things that help you build up.
Yeah.
You know who you are. I remember when you guys did a whole day in the life of the trip, and you guys went out to the studio, but like you know, we've all had those moments.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I didn't press record.
Oh,
bro,
yeah, we did that a few times.
I did not like that's rule number one.
Yes.
And you know, and I messed that up. Like, but you know, I mean, I bet you won't do that again.
Oh, I did it a couple of times.
Oh, well.
I did a couple of times.
I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, but
And it's always like when we have like a guest that we really want,
Right.
like hopefully nothing goes wrong here. Because every time we have
hey
a
man, did you
guest,
press record?
Yeah,
man?
make sure
as
all
I
the
keep
cameras
looking,
is on,
as I
man.
keep looking, and I keep looking down here, but every time we have a guest that we're excited to have,
Yeah.
we're always like this morning I came in here and checked the cameras like 20 times.
Oh, did you?
I was like, make sure the lights are good. Okay, cool. Like everything's set up. All right,
It's beautiful
cool.
in here,
But
man. Yeah.
every time that we have somebody that we really want, something goes wrong. And I hit him. I was like, bro, I didn't fucking record. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And I'm like, damn, man. Like, the cameras on. Like, it's not focused. I'm like, oh man.
Right.
But talking
you're
about
good,
that, what was one of like the worst moments of like
That's a good one.
like your career like that or in Island Block history?
Worst moments.
Like where you're like, God damn, like this is.
Man, you know what? And there's so many things, and you know what? If you could recognize that there is never gonna be a perfect production. You're never gonna have a perfect game, you know. But if you can just roll with it, and you know, it's wins and lessons, not wins and losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, I'm trying to go through my mental Rolodex, but yeah, we had some artists that came on, and let's just say they started drinking way early, and then you know, the first time that Joe and I ever, it is on YouTube. You guys can check it out. It is funny. Glenn from Maoli.
Okay.
First time we ever met him and interviewed him. This was after his concert. Big mistake, fellas. Try to interview them before.
Exactly.
But this was after his concert, after the green room, after the after party. Seemed like, man, this dude was lit. I was like, I don't know how he pieced together all these slurred words, but like, go check it out on YouTube. But it was fun. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
At the time, but you know, I look back at it, and again, what did I say earlier? It's like our job is really to make sure that the artist, the person that we're hosting and interviewing, are seen in the best light. And I didn't do my job because I let him. I was like, I hit record. I was like, oh no, we're gonna see what the hell this is gonna go. Yeah, we about to go viral. But yeah, go check that out, man. Funny barbecue show, House of Blues, Maoli, Q and Joseph. Check it out on YouTube.
Oh,
definitely
tap in with that.
Yeah.
All right. So what's one the embarrassing moment that you had in the show?
Embarrassing moment. You know, we also had some guests come in, and they, as they say in Hawaii, hi maka maka. Like they think that they were so much. And you know, I give people the benefit of the doubt. I hope this doesn't come off crazy, but like when you are so cocky about it, and then you sing live, and I just like, oh my god, yeah, I'm not gonna clown them all live, but man, I did clown one time, and even it was so bad that Joe Sav was like, damn, oops.
Maybe we should keep that. Huh?
And look, as soon as Joe said, oh man, you let him have it, I was like, oh, I must have really. Man, yeah. But anyways, again, I wasn't doing my job on that. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, I think that's like in your line, you know, you hear a lot of people sing and stuff like that. So you probably be like, you have an ear for that. You're like, this guy, you know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we have guests in here, like, so I didn't really explain to you what the podcast was about, right? So
no, I checked it. I did my research.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the get down.
So we did it for people that are from the IE,
Right.
And they want to, like, you know, promote their music and stuff like that, because a lot of people that are not are from the IE and they make it big, they start claiming LA, right? Like you're not from LA. Your mama's from LA, man. Yeah, your mama's from LA.
You exit Pigeon Pass. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So we made this podcast so, like, you know, it's a long ways to LA, you know what I'm saying? So they have a platform where they come in here and you know, show their talent and stuff like that. So we have people here come in and do freestyles in there.
Yeah, man.
You know, and some of them, like,
is there a camera in there too?
We put a GoPro in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you want to hop in there after, you can.
Yeah, man, go ahead. You know,
I better drink some of this other stuff.
Yeah, if you got a verse or two.
And some of the stuff, I'm like, Jesus, dude, like,
yeah,
I'm gonna tell him, like, I don't know if I want to throw this out.
I mean, sometimes it's kind of it's a little awkward because you don't want to tell somebody to, hey, we not gonna put this online.
Well, no, I actually
on YouTube.
did it once.
Yeah,
because he came, he hit me up like for a whole week. Hey man, I want to hop on a podcast.
Right.
All right, man, come on. So he comes on. He did not say a goddamn thing. Quiet the whole time. So I'm looking around. I say,
church mouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I say, hey, send me your music so I can play it. Oh, I don't have any. I said, what?
Oh, that's a red flag number one.
I said, what do you mean? And he was like, oh, like it's in my other phone. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, all right. So like, and then I'm like trying to make conversation. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the podcast was like 20-something minutes.
Yeah.
I cut it short. I was all right, man. So then, like, he went home and then he hit me up. He's like, hey man, when you gonna post it? I was like, I don't think I'm gonna post it, bro. He said, why? I was like, bro, you said 2 words and that was yes or no.
Yeah.
And I was like, then you didn't show me no music. He said, oh, okay. And then he comes back with his homies. And it was supposed to be his podcast because he said, oh, yeah, like, I'm going to do the redemption.
Right.
Then his homie's like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to hop on. And then after that, it was, all right, cool. Like, he just stood on the side.
Damn. Hey, you should tell, hey, go wait in the car. Go in the car.
But, you know, shout out to him. He knows who I'm talking about.
You know, I thought I was going to have one of those brain fart moments where I just forget everything that I was going to talk about on the podcast. But, you know, I developed a love for this podcast now. You know, it's like my second home, you know, because I have a Spanish speaking wife that only speaks Spanish. So it's a little hectic around the house sometimes. You know, we go back and forth. So, you know, this is like...
Sí, pero no tengo regalos para la fiesta.
See,
Bro, that part.
Listen to that. Nah, but when I come on this podcast, I'm able to just get that weight off my shoulders. You know, I get to talk about whatever I want to talk about on the podcast. Either, you know, we going through a fight or, you know, I got something going on at work, you know, so I can let all that extra frustration out, you know. So it's kind of easy to come on the podcast and talk with this guy about certain things that's going on in life. So, you know, it's a blessing that he even gave me the opportunity to be on this podcast because I was in the midst of getting married. And, you know, he was like, bro, I know you got a lot going on, but I need you. We got this chemistry. People saying they want to see us together on this podcast. So I was like, you know what? Perfect. You know, it's something else that I need. Besides, you know, before this, I was selling shoes. Right. You know, shoes was my thing. You know, I was buying, selling. You know, I was the whole reseller type thing. So,
oh man, I should have cleaned my kicks, man. I feel self-conscious right now.
You got the mochas on, man. You got to pass off the bat. So, you know, it was a blessing in disguise for him to ask me to be on this podcast. So
that's cool, man. Well, I mean, you guys got a chemistry. It's undeniable, man. And you know, you both have different perspectives and you bring something to the table. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for what the future brings for both of you. Oh, yeah. And, you know, it goes without saying, man, anything I could do, you know, please let me know.
Yeah. All right. So when you guys start getting like emotion, like they was like, oh, yeah, you know, you got to recognize it as Joe Sav, you know, instead of Q. What was the next, like, no, let me ask you this. You guys start hosting concerts. How did that work out? And like, I know that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I know, like, you know, when I started working with you guys, I'm like, damn, this is like, not like, I was like thinking, I want to, like, you know, do some show like this. Like, but I was like, oh, hell no, this is a lot of work.
It is definitely a lot of work. man, you know, and a lot of people see the shine, but they don't see the grind.
Yeah.
And we've been doing shows and activations like since we were the barbecue show, even prior to Dash. So lucky for us in Long Beach, there was a place, and I'm glad they shut down because I would have been a different person. But it was called it was the Mai Tai Bar in Long Beach. Yep, you're making that face right there. Yep, you made that face. But it was a Mai Tai Bar in Long Beach, and so they recently opened. We had the show. And then we just knew all the boys, all the Usos were the bouncers there, you know. So it was just a easy transition, and so we would host concerts there. We would book like the talent. We would have Battle of the Bands, and it was crazy, man. This thing made me burp. But yeah, so it was just a great place. Literally less than a mile from where we did the show.
Okay.
And it was just a natural progression to do that. And so it went from the Mai Tai Bar to, you know, hosting festivals, things of that nature. And, you know, Joe and the Island Block team, they are doing a tremendous job continuing the live events and stuff over at the House of Blues. Like, it's fun.
Damn.
But
That's
you're right.
legend. Yeah, that's legendary.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
I was like, when I did the Ellie Mac show, I realized like now I'm the guy that people are watching like, oh damn, I want his job, you know what I'm saying? Because I was sitting like just recording, and I was like, okay, and I would catch myself like vibing, and I'm recording, I'm like, oh shit, hold on, I have to like record, like
this footage is shaky. What is going on?
Yeah, so I was like, man, that's amazing. And then when we did the bigger room, I want to say it was J Bug. We did a bigger room, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Like, this is, you know, and you gave me the chance to meet people that, like, I wanted to meet, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, J-Bug, Sammy J, Common Kings, like, stuff like that. So I'm like, damn, like, I'm sitting there, like, my friend's like, oh, you know J-Bug? I was like, well, I don't know him. Like, I know his cousins and stuff, but I shot these videos, or I shot this, or I shot that.
That's so cool.
And then, like, I always put people on, because, like, you know, Sammy J, his music is not for everybody, right? Because it's like, so when I put it, like, who's this? I was like, Sammy J. He's like, man, you a lover boy? I was like, a little bit, you know, just a little bit. But I was like, nah, this is like, when I first seen Sammy J, he was like doing that. It was on YouTube. I think it was Quest, the YouTube channel, and it was like they're doing covers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I went up to my small friend. I was like, Lorenzo, and I was like, hey, you know Sammy J? He's like, no, we don't like Sammy J. I was like, what? Why not?
Right.
I was like, nah, we don't like his music. And I'm like, and then I looked to shout out to my Uso Eric. He was like, nah, we like him. And he started playing. I was like, you know this song? And I was like, this would just be tripping. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's what's up. And then I was like, yeah. And then my other Uso was like, yeah, man, Sammy J is hard, bro. Like, you just,
that's funny.
He's like, that's the first time you heard him? I was like, yeah. I only need like Swan Breezy, Fiji, and J Bug. Yeah,
Fiji is the GOAT.
Yep. And so when I got to actually do his concert and like got to see him, I'm like, dang, like you like one of my favorite artists. I always say he's one of my favorite artists. I was like, you gave me the chance to do that, and you gave me the chance to do a lot of stuff that I never really thought I was gonna do.
Wow.
Like me starting a vlog channel.
Let me clarify. It wasn't just me.
Well,
the
Island
Joe,
Block, Island Block Radio.
So, yeah. So that's cool, man. That's cool that you experienced that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, it's just like you're doing now, man. You're paying that forward.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
And one thing I gotta ask you, Q, man, before I come on the podcast, if I have a guest, I send information to him and make sure he does his homework on the guest that we're having. He sent me your information, right?
Right.
So the first thing I seen, when I hopped on your Instagram was CeeLo Green.
Oh yeah,
the infamous picture of CeeLo Green. Now that's my dad's favorite artist.
Oh,
one of my dad's favorite
Yeah.
artists. What was it like meeting him for the first time, and obviously getting that picture?
Yeah,
that's worth 1,000 words. It looks like y'all was in the studio, y'all was vibing out. Man, how did that come about?
And then I'll take it back a little bit. Again, everything really stems. The genesis point was really the radio and doing all the stuff for the community and things of that nature. So. As a result of kind of doing this work, we met and they're from Carson, but met the Booyah tribe. So for those folks who don't realize who the Booyah Tribe is, they are Polynesian's first hip hop group to go mainstream. They were on the Arsenio Hall show way back in the day, and so just built a tremendous relationship with the DeVoe family, and shout out to Gotti, shout out to Cobra, and all the rest in peace DeVoe brothers. But we're producing a documentary on the Booyah Tribe.
Yeah.
And so as a result of that, Esteban, who's a LA iconic photographer, was there as well. But as a result of that, they were calling in favors, and they wanted to interview all those who were really tied in with the fellas. And CeeLo Green happens to be one of them. Yeah.
I say talented dude, man.
Oh my gosh.
Talented.
Yeah. And fun fact is, one of the first songs that we played, I know this for a fact, on the first show was You're My Kind of People from CeeLo Green, like a classic. Yeah. And so saw CeeLo out in Vegas. We did a surprise birthday party for Cobra. And it's like, man, I met the dude, during the taping. And after that, it was like, yo, CeeLo, he knows who I am. Like, it was crazy. I was like, I've been a big fan of his. Yeah, small hands though, man.
Small hands. He's got like little T-Rex hands.
Yeah, like I was like, hey, what's going on here?
Talking about celebrities, who's like, you met a lot of celebrities. Who's one that you was like, oh shit, like, let's.
Oh yeah, man. Like, we covered they didn't call it the red carpet, but they called it the blue carpet for Moana.
Oh, okay.
And then so got a chance to meet Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Okay.
Right. So interviewed him. Met a World Peace. Working at Dash.
I did see that. I did see that when you guys were interviewing at the red carpet for Moana.
Yep. And then working at Dash, it allowed me. And one thing I always say is it's important to network, right? But it's once you can only network within your network so much, and you've got to expand. If you're going to grow, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So as a result of that, I was able to produce shows outside of Island Block Radio.
Okay.
So I, did the 90s R&B station out there, and then I got to produce one of my all-time favorite groups. All-time favorite groups is Boyz II Men.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And then so Sean Stockman came and we interviewed him. We had a conversation on air. He was like, man, Q, you look like you're having fun doing radio. He goes, I always wanted to do radio. I said, what? I said, bet. I said, you want a show? I'm gonna bring a show right here on Dash. And I said, but I gotta produce it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then so he goes, he thought I was, BSing him. And he goes, man, normally when people tell me things, they never follow up. I said the next week I had a logo, I had a show intro. I said, no, bro, like, we're gonna do this. So we built up this relationship, man, and it was so fun. And watch this 360 moment right here. Is I was producing his show, and his show's obviously an R&B show, right? And then so I'm bringing in all these incredible songs, and then I slip in Fender Groover.
Yeah.
And then he hears the song, and he goes, Q, who is this? And I'm like, oh damn, I'm in trouble. I was not supposed to bring. And he goes, man, I like this. I said, oh, that's my boy Finn. He goes, I like this. Let's bring some more Finn. And I was like, oh, let's go. Didn't get fired. Didn't get fired. But the full circle moment is that everything that I've ever done, whether it's in community work, being a cultural practitioner, producing shows and this, that, and the third, has always been about representation.
Yeah.
Brown and black folks, but especially Pacifica folks.
Yeah.
And so that was my moment. And I got a chance to share that story with them at the Holo Holo Sack a few weeks back. And man, that's the stuff that really Joe and myself had always wanted to do, just to represent.
I mean, look, I'm not Samoan. I grew up with Samoans, right?
Yeah.
I'm Cuban Puerto Rican, and when I first met,
oh man, I love mofongo.
Oh, what?
You guys, this is a mofongo here in the studio.
What?
Yeah,
man, that's my favorite food.
Come on, man.
But shout out to my Uso Mila. He was the one that like I always say he made me Samoan. He showed me like another side, right? So when I first met him, I got in an argument with him. This was tall.
Mountain of a man.
Yeah, I said, man,
like 6'5".
I said, you Hawaiian? He goes, no, I'm Samoan. I said, nah, you Hawaiian. He said, no, I'm Samoan.
You try to tell him what he is?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And then he was like, no, I'm Samoan. And I was like, what is Samoan? And he was like, you don't know what Samoans are? I said, nah, man. And then I was like, so he's like, oh, come here. And he took me to his house. And then I met his mom and everybody. And he walks up to the map and he's like, right there. And I'm like, he goes, Hawaii? Samoa. And I was like, oh, so I remember that day. And then after that, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to make sure everybody knows that they're Samoan. They're not Hawaiian. So, like listening to Polyreggae and getting to work with you guys, I'm like, you need like the Polynesian culture. Like a lot of people know, like oh, they play football and stuff. But they have more than football. They got music. They got, I should always take my friends to the Polynesian festival so they could get to know like what Samoans are, what Tongans are, what Fijians are, because they're like, we don't know what that is. And he's like, and they look at me, he's like, why do you care about these people so much? I was like, because my Samoan, I call my Samoan family. They basically kind of raised me, so I had to give them their flowers too for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they taught me a lot of stuff, and I was like, that like clicks. We from the Caribbean. They're from the from Polynesia.
Yep, Polynesia.
Right?
Yep.
But it's the same thing. It's like the culture is the same. The stuff that we eat is some of it's different. Like but like I love rice. Like
Spam, right?
Love rice.
Yeah, I love rice and spam.
Rice. No, bro. Like when I tell him, hey, Mila, what's your auntie cooking?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, some
sound like we got the bubble guts over here, man. What's going on?
That shit's so clear.
That shit's
You can
crazy.
hear everything in this motherfucker.
No, but he was like,
I heard your soul. This is crazy.
He was like, oh, he's. I was I'm hungry too. But, he was like, we're making rice, some spam, and some chicken. I was like, what do you mean some chicken? He was like, the chicken you like. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm coming over. My mom was like, where you going? I said, I'm over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he said, why? And I was like, I don't want to eat that. And he was like, well, what not? I was like, I don't want to eat fucking Taco Bell. I got some good food over here. They would take me to their church and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is like, the food is amazing, man. I was like,
well, I mean, I got to say this too. And you know what? A lot of folks think I'm Samoan. And
I thought you were Samoan.
Yeah. No, a lot of folks do. And again, there's a lot of similarities. I'm from Guam. I'm not Polynesian. I'm Micronesian. So, proud, just a proud Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
Right. But to your point, man, Puerto Rico and Polynesia and Pacifica is all the same. Like, y'all are island folks. We're island folks. Y'all eat out of the ocean. We eat out of the ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then culturally too, man, it goes, everything stems around family.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I know, like Samoans, they stick together no matter what the circumstances is. We went to a school where it was just dominated by Black and Mexican people. Of course, Samoans, they had their section, and then the few very white people that went to our school, they had their little section. But everybody knew the Samoans, they had a pat where they just stay together. They don't venture off to nobody else. And of course, we go up and we talk to them and stuff and whatnot. But we knew that their culture is just different. It's not what the Black and Mexicans, we fighting, we doing this and things like that. And it was just, meeting Mila for the first time, and as well as Monster, you get that comfortable feel, like you already know them. Like you don't even have to ask them their name. They're like, hey, come over here. Like we cool. Like, don't have a trip. Like you good. Like we ain't gonna fuck with you. Like, so it was like getting that culture firsthand is definitely a home feel, like a Southern feel.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I would totally agree with you. Like Southern hospitality. And then, just the hospitality for Pacific people, it's all the same.
Yes.
I'm gonna stop you guys right there.
Yeah.
I'm about he's right on it.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, man. I used to have way more.
Really?
Yeah, I used to have like 15 in here.
Oh yeah.
Did they just
Yeah.
walk out, or what happened?
I said I need.
Like,
They just
damn.
walked out.
Should I be concerned? Like this?
Nah,
Yeah, for real.
nah, yo. I needed more room for the podcast. You don't like lizards?
Oh man, no, I don't mind them as long as they're in the little container. You know.
I got a couple more things that I seen you doing lately.
Yeah.
And you have the Island City
Yeah. Media group.
media group.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
What is that about?
Yeah, so you know, like everything, and I want to address it, man. Shout out to my Uso Joe, Joe Sav and that Island Block team is continuing to do amazing things, live events, and that's something that he is like always excelled at.
Yeah,
and I will admit, man, when it comes to that stuff, I like to I'm gonna play a supportive role,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I'm gonna play my position. but they're doing some incredible things with festivals and their continued relationship with House of Blues. One thing that I've always been passionate about is really the back end stuff, right? And so like the production stuff.
Yeah.
I've always, you've seen me, like I'm the one that's like kind of
Yeah, I remember eating beats.
eats and beats.
Yeah,
Eats and beats.
I
Yeah.
was like, okay. Then I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, like the production stuff has always been the exciting stuff for me, like business development and things of that nature. Just coming from my, other world.
Yeah.
And so Island City Media Group is a digital production agency. And so, really what we focus on is really the production. We've done, we've partnered with everyone from AEG with the LA Rugby Sevens, AARP. We've done, television like commercials and radio commercials, things of that nature. So it was just a natural growth for me to kind of focus more on that. And so, along with my business partner and the new CEO, congratulations, my brother, Ammon Green, CEO of Island City Media Group. I've taken it to a certain level, and he is just going to take it well beyond that, man. And so, yeah, to answer your question, Island City, we still have the radio station over at Dash, got bought out by a company called Lit Radio. So we still have the Island City Radio station.
Okay.
So maybe there's something that we need to talk about of maybe expanding. Right.
Yeah.
This to another platform.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I totally be open for
Yeah.
that if that's something that you think you would consider.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just been a fun ride.
Yeah, I see. And I don't know. For some reason, I thought you moved to Seattle.
No. I
don't know if you remember that video, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I would like to have Joe, but he's in Seattle now." I mean, Joe. I just call you Joe. What the fuck?
That's my government name. So it's all good.
Yeah.
No, my parents are up there. They're a little bit
Okay.
older, so I go up to the ranch and hang out with them. And then
Oh, you got a ranch up there?
Oh man, I don't have a ranch. They got a ranch. all I know is I'm cutting acres. When they're like, boy, oh good, I'm glad you came. Go cut the property. But yeah, I go up there and then just enjoy my folks. They're not sick or anything. It's just so I implore all of you folks, if you still got your parents around, man, just man, spend that time.
Amen to that.
Spend that time. Yeah. But yeah, in the city of Long Beach, still doing what we do, man, and just having
And
a
then
good
you
time.
have another thing. It's called let me see if I can get this right. Legend
Legacy.
Legacy. Yeah.
So man, you did your research.
Oh yeah, man. I was like, man, let me tap in with Q because like he's been quiet for a minute.
Oh man, I've been.
But
yeah.
you haven't. You've been doing your thing.
Like I said when we first started the show, you don't go into this thing expecting to, I'm gonna make millions.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just got to do it for the passion. But at the same time, it's definitely important to have multiple streams of income.
Yes.
Be an entrepreneur. Watch your credit. All the things, right? So as an older guy, I've taken some risks. Some of them have paid off. Some of them haven't. But I'm at a position right now where like building these different companies. So Legacy Care Living is an assisted care living facility that we're building in Long Beach. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then
You know what,
Yeah.
Joe? Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah,
but
no.
I'm Joe. Why I keep calling you Joe?
that's all right, because my government name is Joe.
Joe, yeah.
So that's
Joe,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of remind me of Pitbull, man.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're born. It's not because you're born. But Pitbull has this like a bunch of little things that he always working on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
He has the
I
like.
thought it was funny.
I
was like,
what? Not just because you're born, but no. Because he has all these little things. He has like the charter schools, and then he has the after school programs. Then he has a music school, and then he's opening some other stuff now.
Right.
You know, so now that I'm hearing you talking, like, you know, like you're just doing all this stuff for the community.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you know what? And there's I've dedicated my life to really being a cultural practitioner in a group that my mother started 30 years ago. So you know, definitely, you know, about the kids, about inspiring and motivating them to do better. And at the same time, you know, building these opportunities for multiple streams of income to take care of, you know, myself, take care of my family, take care of, you know, all that stuff.
Right.
So
you speak of being a mentor. Have you met a kid that you kind of, you know, like you see a bright spot on him? You know, like he's gonna go somewhere. You always meet a kid that you know they have that musical feel, or you know, they're athlete.
They got
or something like
right?
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have. AB.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Come on, man.
Yeah. God bless you for that one.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
You know, I've been blessed, man, to come across several super talented, you know, young folks, and you know, you kind of give them what you think they need, and then, you know, you don't know if it goes in one ear and out the other, man. And today's show is just like kind of showed me like, oh man, this brother was listening.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, man.
You know, and it was a. I guess you could take you say you took a chance. You know what I'm saying? Because from me be standing at the line, be like, hey, let me get a shirt.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I'm working with you, you know, doing all these things, and I'm like, then like I was telling my girls, like, then like, and it was crazy that you did that, right? It's when like now I like you said, pay it forward. Now I look at people like, okay, I have to. Maybe it's not gonna work, but I'm gonna just shoot my shot with it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't even my idea to start this podcast. It was my boy. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. And I sit down and talk to my wife, and I was like, she was like, whoa, you like to talk? And I'm like, oh. I said,
that he do.
I said, all right, I guess.
He do.
I said, all right, I guess. So then I'm like, all right. So I hit him up. I was like, yeah, let's do it then. And he was all right. But I told him, I was like, but I'm like, I want to be like professional, bro. It's like we have guests, show up, we do stuff like that. I was like, I'm just not that type of guy that just gonna half-ass everything.
Yeah,
right.
You know, like I want to make sure that we're doing things right. And I got that from you, because like when we'll have like recording events and stuff, you be like, oh, I need you here to be like at this time, show up like maybe 15 minutes early.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, like. I was all right. So before that, I'm like, people like, hey, be here. I'm like, I'll show up a little late.
Yeah.
And when I was like, and I told my wife, like, and my wife was like, you're panicking. I was like, yeah, because I had to go all the way to fucking LA, like that fucking like. So I'm like, nah, like, and then it was crazy how you said like
That's
in
so
the
cool,
beginning,
man.
you said, you know, if you're ready, I don't know if you're recording, but you had said, if you're ready, like, you know, doing like long nights, you know what I'm saying, like you know, waking up at 4, going over there. When I was doing my working, you know, I guess you could call me a trader because I was working at Home Depot at the time. And then like I would close Wednesday, and then I had to be up at 4:30 in the morning the next day to go to Hollywood to Island Block Radio to Dash. That kind of gave me a discipline where I was like, if I want it, I'm gonna go get it.
Man,
you know
that
what I'm
part.
saying? So. I you know, like I said, like you like on my top bucket guest that I needed,
my gosh.
because you know, like if it wasn't for you, bro, I really would never really know how to work this, because you know I'll pay attention to you when you were doing your little. I was like, shit, like this guy's doing this thing, like, touching all this shit.
What is this guy doing?
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's all right. So like, and
Golly,
just but I appreciate you, man. I really do,
Man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Like really, it means a lot. You know, I see what you do, and we've always talked about it from the first time we met, is consistency.
Yeah.
And look, this is what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
My grandfather told me this, and I want to share it with you in Chamorro, and it's Fanasuni una sinyaha, and that just means, you can do it if you try, and you are killing it.
Yes.
And, you guys are obviously doing what you do. I'm honored to be in the woods with y'all.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you,
man.
man.
I
Appreciate
appreciate it. Appreciate it. Before we leave, what's new for you? What's something that's coming up and you're excited that you?
Oh man, with Island City, ironically, we have been doing some. We did an international music festival out in New Zealand. So shout out to Green. Like that was crazy.
Yes.
So we did that last year. We're working on some stuff right now, and as soon as I get the confirmation, I am gonna let you fellas know right here, because I'm gonna need you to be a part of it and
please do, bro.
get out to the festivals and cover. But we're working hand in hand with Polynesian Music Network. Shout out to Queenie and Kehlani, and the LA Pacifica Film Fest in conjunction with Cal State LA, providing a platform for Pacifica filmmakers and things of that
For people
nature.
that don't know what Pacifica is, what does that mean?
Yeah. So it's you mentioned Polynesia, but it also encompasses Micronesia, folks from Guam and Saipan, and Melanesia, folks from Fiji, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea. Just Pacific people.
Okay. Q, I gotta ask you this.
Yes, sir.
You say you've been to, multiple places where you had to network and you go and mentor, certain people. What is the favorite? What is your favorite? What has been your favorite destination so far?
Oh, I was about to ask that.
Man,
because you brought up New Zealand. I always wanted to go to New Zealand. Me and my wife, we're gonna go there one day. By the way,
I would have to say. I would have to say when we went to Samoa, Western Samoa,
right?
Or they call it Samoa right now. So, the independent country of Samoa. We went there. This is I would have to say 2016, something like that. And the people just beautiful. And when we go to different places, I don't want to go to Waikiki and the tourist spots.
Right.
I want to go to where the real is. And I want to eat. That's what I want to do.
Yes,
So,
me too.
but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to going to I want to go to Tahiti. I want to go to all different parts of the world. And I'm sure you guys are gonna get there too, man.
Yes.
That's the goal, right? Is to bring your family, take this show, have
On
this
a
show
tour,
have it take you everywhere.
Yeah.
Man,
good. I was about to just ask that question. I was like, man, what's the favorite place you've been?
Yeah.
But I was telling my brother, bro, you just brought it up. Like he was like, oh, because we're gonna go to Hawaii at the beginning of next year. My mom wants to go. I've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law is stationed out there right now. So my brother's like, oh, let's stay in Waikiki. I said, no. I said, hell no. I was like, we gonna go stay in the hood. Like, we're gonna go try to find freaking Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna stay in the hood because that's like, even if you go to Puerto Rico, man, like if you go to Puerto Rico,
that's where I want to go.
There's a neighborhood called La Perla. And that's it's
why is every Puerto Rican restaurant named La Perla?
Oh no,
because of that, right?
And it's the worst neighborhood in Puerto Rico, but it got the best food in Puerto Rico.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? So even if you go to Cuba too, like in La Habana, like it's bad, but the food there is so good. So if you ever go to Puerto Rico, just let me know so I can tell my cousins to,
man, can you start a cooking show? That's what I want to know.
You was on that track.
I was on that track. Yeah, I was on that track.
Oh, hungry ass. Hungry ass.
Because I like to smoke meat and stuff like that. So I was starting.
Pause.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. No Diddy.
No Diddy. But I was gonna do that, but then I just started fishing again. So then I was like, I'm gonna start fishing, and we're gonna start doing a fishing channel.
Just don't catch no fish in Lake Paris. Please don't do that.
Shit
I was just in Lake Paris yesterday fishing, and I caught a bird.
He drowned.
I caught a bird. The motherfucker went right through one fucking line, and that shit was scary because it was like the noises that the bird was making.
Serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The noises that the bird was making, I was like, "What the hell? This is not a regular bird."
Right.
The homie Miguel was like, "Hey, what is that?" And I was like, "It's a bird." He was like, "No way!" And I'm like reeling them in and stuff. And
That's
then
a Moval bird. That's what that is.
Really?
Hey,
Ghetto bird.
Shout out to that bird because I never got to get the hook out. So
Damn, you let him drown.
and he has a frog. I was throwing a frog. You see that frog that's on the second one?
Yeah.
I was throwing that out there, and so he has one of those in his foot.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he
So shout out
drowned.
to that bird.
Where is this show going?
Nah, but Q, we appreciate you coming by. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, man.
all the way
Yeah.
down here, all the way from the LBC to the IE. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, all right, Q. I had one more question, bro. Because I know your job, it can be hectic being a producer. So you have I would guess your line of work is you making sure everything is intact. You making sure, the sound quality, everybody is supposed to be where they're supposed to be. How hectic does it get when, it's when one of the shows are about to start? How hectic you gotta, because I know you gotta have a certain type of anxiety, like, okay, make sure that's on, make sure this is working, make sure the sound quality is on. How hectic does that get?
That definitely at the onset and the beginning of my career, I was a nervous wreck. I was high anxiety, and you see it, AB, right? So, but the longer you do it, it's like sports, man. Get back on getting reps, get right back on the line. But yeah, you start figuring out, okay,
Yes.
you start figuring the nuances of being a producer. You know what to do. You mess up so many shows, but you learn from them. And the thing about Dash is it was a beautiful situation because we just walk in, we already know what to do. You don't plan to fail. You just fail to plan, right?
I gotta remember that.
Yeah. So it's just reps, bro. It's just reps. Yeah, and then you all that anxiety just dissipates, and then you just have chemistry, and you just have a good time.
Right.
Yeah. Now he would come outside. He would come to the stage, and he would be like, and I'm like, damn. Like, and it was like fucking thousands of people. And I'm like,
Yeah, because you see documentaries of producers and directors, they go through so much shit at the last minute. It's like right before somebody's about to go on stage or somebody's about to, start filming. It's kind of like hectic. Everybody's like, oh, I got to make sure this is right and make sure, everybody's set up perfect. And
You're just learning. You're just learning. And then, like you can, there's a point when you just know that, okay, there's nothing else I can do. I just got to rock with it.
yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, no, it was amazing watching Dan work. He also Joe. I don't need Joe in here too, but he's a busy man. But it was amazing watching you guys work. And like feedback. Like when you guys are on stage, like
man.
MCing. I'm like,
good times for sure.
That shit. Like, I was like, God, I want that. I want to do that. Like, that's what's up. Like that's what I want to do. And you know what I'm saying? Because it was fun. Like just having fun. And then getting to experience that with you, it was like damn, like okay, well, that's what's up,
Man.
So I really do want to give you. This is the reason why I wanted to bring you here, because if it wasn't for you, again, I'm gonna say it again, the podcast wouldn't be the way that we running the show,
right.
because just sitting down and watching you guys work, just in the background, and giving myself, like you guys give me a opportunity to, like, all right. The guy is not even fucking Polynesian. I'm sitting. I remember when the whole thing with Hawaii, when they wanted to build that they're building something in
Mauna Kea.
Yeah, so they were doing a documentary, and they went to Island Block Radio. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, say something," and I was like, "Oh, I'm not Polynesian," and they were like, "What?" They looked at me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not. Like, I don't even know. Like, I know what's going on, but I was like, I'm not even. Like,
this guy fit in like old furniture over here. Like,
he looked at me, he was like, okay, and then like DJ Pena was there, and like and she looked at me, and I was like, yeah, I don't. And then Joe was like, say something. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's a shaking land, man. Don't do that shit. But
wait, hold up, Joe. Hold up, Q. You're a sports guy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite team?
What's USC? Man, golly, come on now. Come on, coach. USC, fight on. Lakers, of course.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
Dodgers,
a Lakers fan.
Dodgers.
And of course, the silver and black, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh no.
The
shit.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Sorry, we got to get that to you. I mean, our teams ain't doing.
Our team is not doing so good anyway. I'm a Miami fan.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see.
I'm a Saints fan.
Oh man, I think Saints play Long Beach Poly next season.
Oh, come on, man.
I think so. I think it's a third game, fourth game.
We looking pretty bad, but we gonna get back on track, man.
All right. One more last question.
Man.
Question. Who is your favorite artist?
Oh.
At all time.
All time. It's got to be the GOAT, man. Fiji.
Oh,
Fiji.
okay.
Fiji, the GOAT.
Yeah.
GOAT.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Shout out to Fiji. It's crazy, man. It's like, somebody I've been a fan of for so long, and it's like, man, I got his phone number. I could FaceTime him.
Yeah,
right now.
that's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
You did what you just said. When you got to, doing your work line and you got to meet him,
Still.
that would have been, that's like a...
Bro, still to this day. It's like, man.
Do you remember that day?
When I got to
When the
meet
first
him?
time you got to meet him?
Oh yeah. Yep. It was the day, our first show at Dash.
Oh, wow.
And it was a significant show for us, a significant interview for me personally, because I was, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
And he blessed us, man, and we fed the whole station, and they didn't know what to do. Like, oh my God, the Islanders are here. It smelled like
Yeah,
it smelled like barbecue
outside the
pulled
cold
pork.
Yeah.
It smelled like pulled pork in here.
Man, that's
man.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But we can't coming down to the last, the last moments of the show, man. It was a great show.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
Fun, man. How fast was that? That was the fastest.
It's almost 2 hours.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Straight R&B.
About hour and 30 minutes.
Hour
Like
30
that?
minutes.
This is where we freestyle right here.
If you want.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't want.
No, but appreciate you for coming by, man. We really do. It was just something I wanted to do.
Oh, man.
Give you your flowers for giving me the book to be like, oh, this is how you do it.
Oh, let's go.
So. But guys, if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's ABCubanPR. If you don't follow me on TikTok, it's ABCuban_PR.
Yeah, man. If you don't follow me, it's IMXGood. It's all one word. Instagram, Snapchat, as well as TikTok. It's IMXGood1. Tap in, man. In the Woods podcast, best podcast in the IE.
Yes, sir. She's. If you want to plug
Yeah,
in
go
your.
ahead.
Oh, hey. Yeah, this is your boy Q. Follow me at On Air with Q. Spell it out. And if you don't know how to spell it, I don't need you following.
Amen to that. But if you don't follow the podcast, it's In the Woods Pod on everything. So make sure you guys tap in. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit the notification button because it helps with the algorithm. But Q,
Man, I'm proud of y'all, man. This is fun.
man,
Yes, man. We had a good time on this.
Yes, sir.
it was great having you. We got some stickers.
Let's go.
Yes.
In the Woods podcast, all up in your ear hole. Let's
Oh
go.
yeah, and then
Like that.
I'm gonna have to give you a shirt, man, because hopefully,
Yes.
are you a large?
Yeah, sure.
Are you? If not, then we don't have a
Hey,
large.
I'm a large man.
If not, you can just hang it up.
No, I'm gonna wear the shirt. I'm gonna wear the shirt, and you're gonna see my heartbeat through my chest. That's what you
Definitely, man. Repping.
Okay, never mind.
Woods,
We'll make a shirt and send it to you. You know what I'm saying? But guys, always stay blessed, be blessed, one love.
Cheers.